All right, thank you very much, Frank. It's Roger and Diener here right now, and we're discussing, of course, the horrific mass shooting on the Danforth. Last night, about 10 o'clock, a gunman apparently walking down the street, opening fire on several restaurants, possibly, and on people on the street out enjoying a beautiful evening. A second such horrific incident this year. We also have the Bruce McArthur investigation. It has been a terrible year right now. And joining us, talk a little bit more about how to process these horrific situations that have unfolded here in Toronto is Nicole McCants, a psychotherapist. And Nicole, thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Good morning, Nicole.
Thanks for having me.
So how do we begin to allay the fears for parents? You know, we're really proud to be a family show here. That's why we've chosen not to show that horrifying video of the attack. It's available everywhere online. But we are very sensitive to the different demographics watching our show.
We don't need to see it.
But kids are exposed to it. You just said your 10-year-old son, Roger. I mean, you can't escape it on the subway or on your phones. Friends are talking about it. So how do parents equip their children to be able to deal with this sort of horrifying information?
Yeah. So first we have to listen. We don't want to assume how they are feeling. They may not actually be scared. They may instead be angry, right? Or they may be more sad. So I would listen and normalize exactly how they feel. If they are angry, let them be angry. As parents, our energy is also contagious in the home. So if you are very on edge this morning, please use your own coping mechanisms to calm, because your kids pick up on your energy.
What are
sorry, please.
What are some of those coping mechanisms for adults? We'll start there and kind of talk to them.
Yeah. A big one is this morning, having your environment be calm by playing calm music. So it's really about, in a world where it feels out of control and I have no control, what can I control? Well, I can control playing nice music in the background, right? I can control tonight canceling some plans if we need to, all being together and watching a funny movie. I can control holding my kids a little tighter before I send them off to school. I can control letting those small things go that often bother me in the morning. I think moments like this put our lives in perspective.
It's so true. And then at the same time, everyone's desperate right now for information as we process it. And it's you are angry, you are mad, you're sad, you want to know why. Who is this person? What motivated them? How do we stop these people from going this far in the future? How do we ensure our safety when we just want to enjoy a summer evening on a beautiful street, you know, in Greektown or wherever in the world? So how do you mitigate the damage there, where you want to know information, but you don't want to expose your children to that same information while you're taking it in?
So it's a hard balance, right? Because we want to get this sense of control by being informed, and that's important. But I do tell parents to limit media, at least limit it. Check it on your phone more than blasting it from the television this morning from your living room, only because your kids are going to see it. It may impact their day. So try to limit it. It can be a bit obsessive, just wanting to know everything. So it is good to give yourself, okay, I'm only going to check at lunchtime, and the rest of the time I'm going to focus on my life and the things that I'm grateful for. One thing I want to mention as well is people want to stay home because they feel safe there. And that is actually the worst thing you can do, is do not avoid those places that you love. Like, go to Taste on the Danforth. Go out this weekend with your kids, right? And remind them of all the amazing times you've had on the Danforth. Get them talking about it.
And I'd just like to go back, Nicole, for a minute, back to talking about kids might be angry, they might be sad. What are some of the things we can look for with our children when it comes to that? What kind of signs might they be exhibiting?
Yeah, it's not always outward anger. It's not always obvious. Also with young kids, they don't always have the verbal capacity to tell you that they are scared. Sometimes it can show up actually as like stomach aches, headaches, change in appetite, not sleep. They just seem a bit off. They're not sleeping like they're still on their iPad. It's 10 p.m., right? Also checking in with their teacher. If you're feeling like they're off in a week or two, you might want to check in with their teacher if there's any difference, if they're being different at school.
And how do we reassure ourselves, you know, as adults, so that we're strong enough to model this sort of behavior for our children, or just in general? There might be a lot of people who feel like they're paralyzed with fear, grown adults.
And I think it's very normal and common, yes. I think we have to remind ourselves that this is rare. I know in a world, 2018, it feels like it's everywhere we turn, but thinking about all of the times we've been on a patio this summer and we've been perfectly fine and nothing has happened, our brain tends to think of, oh, this could happen again, right? So remembering that you are safe, doing lots of self-soothing, whatever that is for you, doing all those things, being close to your family and friends would also be important.
Are there some self-checks you can do with like this? Because it has been a terrible year in this city. There's been a lot of negatives, sadly, with what has happened with the van attack and the Bruce McArthur investigation and now this. Are there some self-checks you can do to just go, you know what, I'm feeling this. This is kind of deterring me from having a normal day or a normal day. Or what should you be looking for?
Funny enough, we don't always notice when we're nervous maybe, but we will notice when we're yelling at our kids more, when we're irritable. So checking in if you're noticing that you're more irritable, paying attention to your sleep patterns. It will be normal for you to not sleep tonight. If you're a little off, that is normal. If it lasts more than a few days, it would be important to mention it to your doctor. It does not hurt just to chat with a professional or even with a friend. Just letting it out, do not hold it in.
So important to talk and to come together as a family and be there as a network. Thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Thanks very much, Nicole. We will have more coverage of the horrific shootings on the Danforth coming up after the